race, dreaming they won it by 4 in the end.
American Anthem has taken off. American Anthem easily in the Woody Stevens.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by WinStar Farm. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a look at the field for the Travers Day Spa Baby event. It's the opener, and Nicole, this is one of the highlights of the 2-year-old season at Saratoga, the Travers Day maiden special weight for colts. Historically, some giant pedigrees, big sales prices, talented horses, and this year, no exception.
Definitely, very much so. We've got $1 million yearling in there who we'll get to in a moment. National level sires like Tiz Now represented, some very familiar names that we'll see in the pedigrees of these horses. It looks like a really competitive event, full mostly of first-time starters here.
The number 1 is Victory Lane by WinStar Stallion Tiz Now, and this horse just has a tremendous pedigree, a full brother to the stakes-winning router Donworth, who's knocked heads with some of the better horses in the country, also a half-brother to Conte Partiro, not only a stakes winner on turf, but a debut winner at 2.
Yeah, debut winner at 2, stakes winner on turf is a 2-year-old last summer at Saratoga, actually came back to be a stakes winner this year at the renowned Royal Ascot meeting. Definitely adds some speed to the family. Their Damn Temple Street by Street Cry was second in the Grade 1 Humana Distaff sprinting on dirt at Churchill. Tiz Now over a Street Cry mare. You definitely think this horse will run well going longer, but there's definitely enough speed here to be a factor in this race. If he can overcome drawing the rail there, it's an ideal draw to show that speed. $675,000 yearling.
Shug McGahee, not known for winning first time out, but he almost got it done on Friday with News Anchor in a turf race, and it appears that Victory Lane and News Anchor worked in company on August the 14th. I kind of agree with you. I think Victory Lane's going to do better with experience and a little bit more distance, but with this pedigree, you must respect. The number 2 is Has It. It's Todd Pletcher. It's John Velasquez. These connections win first time out, and this horse sold for a pretty penny back in March.
Yeah, $430,000 2-year-old. No surprise, he's by a good juvenile sire in Warfront out of a Grade 3 winning mare, Rumor. This is her first foal. She's a half to Dixie Chatter, who's a Grade 1 winning juvenile himself. Rumor's by Indian Charlie, who I think is going to turn out to be a very nice broodmare sire. He's got a lot of good daughters out there who are starting to produce. Indian Charlie, very fast horse, who's thrown a lot of good 2-year-olds himself. Uncle Mo, Indian Blessing. Rumor definitely inherited some of that brilliance. And as you said, these connections know how to win first out. I think you must respect this horse.
A lot of speed and precocity in this family. The 3rd Dam juvenile filly champion, Phone Chatter. Watch the board for this one and expect him to take some money. The number 3 is Belle Tapisserie. This is the only runner in the race with prior experience. He ran 3 days ago in a turf race, and he showed good speed, and that's something we've seen from this barn. This barn hasn't been very successful, rather low-profile connections, but they can get him to run quick out of the gate.
Yeah, showed speed, then gave way. I think this one might possibly be better on dirt as well, wheeling back off that turf debut by young sire Azar. I don't discount his ability to get a turf horse. Certainly the family does, but he did all of his best work on dirt, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, of course, out of a mare by emerging broodmare sire Forestry, adds some more speed. This one might improve off that start.
This is from the family of Natural Selection, who won the Illinois Derby, so there is enough dirt in this pedigree to indicate he'll handle the surface switch without any sort of issue. Now, the number 4 Glass Bridge is by Breeders' Cup Classic winner Blame. Blame has done rather well with his turf performers thus far, not surprising since he's a son of the noted turf stallion Arch. And when I look at this pedigree on the bottom side, I see a lot of grass influence.
Yeah, definitely. I think this one really seems to have a turf-leaning pedigree. As you just mentioned, Dan, Blame is really emerging as a turf sire. Just got the first Group 1 winner of his career in France this year. Out of an Irish-born Giants Causeway mare. A lot of turf class deeper in the family. It's the immediate family of champions El Gran Senor, Try My Best, Glassbridge has worked sharply on the main track at Monmouth, but I really would like to see this one on the lawn in the future.
Yeah, the dam, as you mentioned, won twice overseas, once at 1.25 miles, once at 1.5 miles. So I might take a wait-and-see approach in this dirt sprint for the number 4 Glassbridge. Top connections with first-time starters, though. Kelly Breen certainly knows how to win first out. The number 5 Road to Meath is one of 2 in here, trained by Chad Brown. He is by Quality Road, and we mentioned it whether it's on the DRF Breeding Report, whether it's here on Spa Babies. Quality Road has just broken out over the last year and a half.
Yeah, he's always been a quality sire, especially with his 2-year-olds. He's had horses like Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf winner Hootenanny. Abel Tasman herself was a Grade 1 winner last fall as a 2-year-old. He's really come alive this year with Abel Tasman winning the Kentucky Oaks, another good filly out there in Salty. It's really a breakout year for this athletic young stallion.
The dam won routing on a wet track. She is a half-sister to a stakes-winning miler named CP West, who won first out at 2. You have to respect anything that Chad puts onto the track. That's the 5. Road to Meath, Jose Ortiz gets the call. The number 6 is High North. And when I look at this pedigree, I think that this elongated sprint distance is right what this horse wants. And you've got Brad Cox, a phenomenal trainer, Arad Ortiz aboard. This could be an interesting sleeper.
Very much so. The Brad Cox barn is having such a good year, such a good summer. This horse was working at their base down at Churchill, looked like he was working very strongly, followed up with a good half mile in his first move after shipping north to Saratoga. The dam won the Grade 2 Top Flight. She's produced Benner Island, who won the 8 Bells sprinting at Churchill and ran 3rd in the Acorn Grade 1 race, going a mile at Belmont, kind of an elongated one-turn sprint. It's the family of champion 2-year-old filly Eliza. A lot of speed, a lot of class. I do think this one is a sleeper.
The number 7, Scarpella, comes from the same connections as the 3, Belle Tapisserie, a $25,000 buyback in April after breezing 2 furlongs and 21 and change. Scat Daddy gets horses that win on dirt or turf, short or long. You don't worry about that. The dam was a stakes winner on turf. She won it too. And again, this barn gets them to run fast out of the gate, but it appears that the connections picked a tough spot first out for this one.
Yeah, a really tough spot, especially for another horse with kind of a turf-leaning pedigree. Scat Daddy does so well with his juveniles, very popular internationally. The female family leans a bit toward turf as well. This is another one that I'd kind of circle for the future.
And all eyes will be on the number 8. That is Good Magic. Before we get to him, we have a formulator fact for the connections of the number 7, Scarpella. Past 5 years, 2-year-old first-time starters, 0 for 23. I wouldn't let that dissuade you too much. This horse is going to be a big price at post time if you like him. The 8 is Good Magic, $1 million baby, trained by Chad Brown, by Curlin, and just a phenomenal pedigree all around.
You certainly see why the connections were willing to go to $1 million as a yearling for him. What else can you say about the outstanding young classic sire Curlin? The dam Glinda the Good was Grade 2 placed as a juvenile herself, went on to be a multiple stakes winner at 3. Her first starter is a winner at 3. And Glinda the Good, a half to 5 stakes winners, led by the turf Grade 3 winner Take the Ribbon. This is the family of multiple Grade 1 winner Magical Maiden, herself a Grade 1 producer. Good Magic is coming off a sharp half-mile work here. The Chad Brown firster is getting Javier Castellano aboard. Just there's a lot to like here.
When you see a pedigree like this, you almost automatically think spring classics, longer distance races. What about his chances in this race? 6.5 furlongs, 2-year-old race, Saratoga. Is he going to be able to handle it? Will his class in this pedigree sort of overcome the speed and precociousness of some of the others?
Well, you know what? That's definitely the question. There's definitely juvenile ability in the family, but, you know, this pedigree definitely seems like a classic type pedigree. Class does sometimes win early. This is one that I'll definitely be watching in the future, but I think depending on how the tote plays out, you never know what these young horses are going to do first out, and you'd be forgiven for looking around in this race depending on how that tote shapes up.
It's such a fun race, a great way to start off what should be a remarkable Travers Saturday. Where are you going?
Well, as we just said, you've got to respect Good Magic. You've got to put that one on your horses to watch list. But I am going to look around a little bit in this race. I just think it's such a deep race. You kind of have to. Has it? I think you definitely have to respect the connections, and that's another wonderful pedigree for 2-year-old success. And I'm not ignoring High North, another horse bred for speed who's been working well from a really solid barn as a sleeper. Where are you headed?
I like Good Magic as well. Lots to like. With that July 30th workout, his workmate came back to debut for Chad, earned a 78 Beyer speed figure. That's pretty impressive. I have a feeling he's going to run well first time out, whether he wants more distance down the road or not. Maybe a sleeper to use on the bottom of exotic wagers is the number 1 Victory Lane, that full brother to Donworth. I'm not sure he's going to be completely cranked for this start for Mr. McGahee, but distance down the road, maybe he can come with a late run and pick up some pieces and crack the exacta or trifecta. Really a fun race. Great way to kick off Travers Saturday. Post time is 11:35, and Nicole and I will be back for Sunday's Spa Baby event, and that will be presented by WinStar Farm.